Hello everyone. I think this video will be a small compilation of some small hints that can help a new player to start a Chaos playthrough in the game Chaos Immortal. And since you need to basically go to at least a certain realm after finishing normal difficulty or even nightmare if I'm not wrong, so I will skip a lot of the basic stuff. I will mainly focus on something that I think might be helpful. And so let's start from the character creation screen. And so you can change your appearance and your internal traits, external traits in this one. Well, actually, at a certain point, I think these can matter, but I would say that you can just select your internal, external traits based on, your roleplay, if that. I should recommend just that way. And just in external traits, if you are, let's say, try to min-maxing, just try not to take carefree or romantic. So carefree actually means that you do not want to interact with people. You are kind of an introvert. And similarly, not similarly, romantic, it doesn't really mean romantic. It's more like you are always looking for love, or in other words, you can date with anyone. And for carefree, it doesn't really hurt much in your playthrough, but if you have carefree, I think you have a little less chance to interact with other NPCs, which sometimes can be good because, maybe at some point you're just too tired of too many NPCs trying to talk with you every time you pass a month. But during the progression, it is good to have NPCs which are friends with you, so you can discuss and get what was the English word, which I actually don't know, but it's kind of discuss the debate and to get your down point. Or, you in many of the artificial spirits talents, to unlock them, you need to interact with NPCs. So having a caring or loyalty, or which anyone you like, it's good but it doesn't really matter that much. I think some outdated traits, outdated guides might say, oh, you need to choose certain external traits, but to be honest, it doesn't matter really much. Just do it the roleplay way. And for the stats, so I think you probably already knew. So luck and insight are the two things you want to focus on, because everything else you can make it much higher in the game. But luck and insight are much more difficult to gain. Like, there are certain events which can temporarily increase your luck and insight, and I think there are also very rare events which can permanently increase this. But other than those, you should be focusing on these two traits. And obviously it will be a lot of if it takes too much time for you to just refresh this thing. For example, now I have 80 luck and 100 insight. I'm completely happy with this. And some guys will say, oh, you need to focus on both of them about 120, 150, but I don't think it's really that necessary. And one thing I want to actually talk about is attack, or defense. So in Chaos, the very beginning of the game can be a bit difficult, especially if you have only 15 attack. That's how much basic attack value you get in Chaos. So here I chose Cold-Blooded just to get +6 attack. And even though that gives me -100 charisma, but I'm okay with it. So if you have higher attack, like 20, well, actually helps you a lot in the very early game to pass the first boss, Jagu. And if you have 30 attack, it becomes much easier. Alright, let's start again. Oh, right. All this martial and spiritual rules, it doesn't matter at all. As you know, you can increase them easily by different fruits. So a lot of those red traits will actually increasing all those, arts and roots, which really doesn't matter. So you don't need to care about it. For example, I had Cold-Blooded to increase my attack. I have Scholar to increase my insight. That's how I bring it to 100. Then out of everything else, there's not much really good ones. And I could choose +25 palm if I want to, or earth, if I want to use palm or earth. But for me, I just chose this off-range, just like that. So that is much about character creation. Let's start again. Yep. in the artifact selection, and so in Chaos, no matter if you choose the Eye or the Gourd, it can only actually protect you once. So if you die, this artifact will break. And to be honest, if you are playing Chaos, especially if you're playing the first time, and I would say for most other players like me, if I die on Chaos, I just load an earlier save. So in that way, that this so-called, just once protection, it really matters less. And to be honest, if you really want to min-max, I would say Eye of Providence is still the best artifact to choose, especially because it can give you the stun skill from the Haturibari. Is that the correct name? So, the dragon-like creature with a human face. So, yeah, so Isle of Providence is still the best if you want to min-max, but, the Gourd is a new function and it's much more fun. And it actually, because you can send out imps to adventures and can bring back your skill fruits and some materials, so it can make your progression much easier. So choose as you wish. And well, Bagua Jade is the OG artifact from the very beginning, and if I recall correctly, it can help you revive a few more times. I'm not sure if this is actually valid in Chaos because I haven't used this for very long. But one good thing about Bagua Jade is if you happens to meet a high realm NPC in the very beginning, and let's say you make the person as a relative, or partner, or simply your master, you can gift this Bagua Jade to that NPC, and you can summon the NPC. Basically, makes your progression extremely easy. Obviously, that means it becomes useless once you reach Reborn, but to be honest, once you're at Reborn, even a Gourd or Eye doesn't really help you that much as well. Well, the Eye is still only useful probably for the stun, but that's it. So in this case, I will actually choose a Gourd, because it's more fun. But you can choose it as you wish. All right. So once you're at this point, you can save or kill a certain NPC. You can observe first. Some of the NPCs actually have the nature destiny which allows them to give them an artifact, which is basically a sword, which you can use at the beginning, so chi refining stage. And if you decided to min-max and being not a good person, you can try to kill them and get that sword. It does help you to fight the Jagu easier, but I do not really recommend to do it. You can I would say, let's just help them and get this recommendation letter. And I think a lot of new players think that you need the recommendation letter to enter UNSEC, which is not really the case. What this recommendation letter do is just let you be able to be enrolled into a sect without fulfilling the conditions. But if you already fulfilling the condition, which mostly are about your spiritual or martial roots, you don't really need it. And also it can give you a bit more sect contribution once you entered. That's how it works. But yeah, you don't really need them. So you can kill them without any problem. Alright, actually, right now I'm at the first town, and this NPC is what I was talking about. So she has this nature called Forging Appreciance, so which grants her an artifact, so the Imperial Sword. And as I said, if you want, and if you're really having problem defeating Jagu, you can try to steal this sword from her. And you need just save before you try to steal it, because you have a very high chance to be found. And because she has a sword, and if she finds out, you cannot defeat her. She will probably be killed, or at least, being humiliated. But sometimes if you are really lucky, you might be able to get this sword. Then it will become much easier. But yeah. So once you start having this event, Mystery Man Joe, he will try to sell this cheap refining peel. Usually you should not buy from him because it was cheaper in the town, but on chaos difficulty you should buy from him because in the town it's 450, so it is actually cheaper. I mean, not much, but just a little detail. One important thing is once you finish the quest of learning the two skills, so the martial skill or special skill, you should have this side quest which you should take. So you go to the tavern, you can see this little exclamation mark here, and you should ask for information, how to earn spirit stones. You can take this quest, and you can do this quest before you deal with Jagu and accept it. And yeah, I will let you know something once I finish it. So here you can negotiate, and this is confirm. Here you can either choose slaughter the fort or you can ask for the details. But most importantly, once you ask for details, you should choose do not believe whatever he said. So instead of saying the bandits must be talking to you for food, slaughter them and start a fight. The fight should be quite easy, but once you finish this, you will get this continuous quest. You should tell him to continue, and you will get some money, but get this book, get this letter, but don't read this letter because he told you to not read this letter. It's very important. And you will get this unknown jade charm, alright? And you should bury the bandits. That's also important. So, about this jade charm, so after this quest you get a jade charm, a letter, and a hairpin. So you never open this letter, unless you just want to read the story, but then you fail this quest. And this jade charm, you can actually save it into your tree vault, so that to save the reward of this quest later. But for now, I will just let it be. Okay? Skip. Once you're at the town, you should give all 800 to the mother of the bandit. And here, of course, give the woman everything, the hairpin and the letter. After this, as I said before, you can put this jade charm into your storage, so that the next month it won't trigger the reward event. You might want to save this because maybe you want, if the reward is an orange rarity martial skill, and if you want that skill book maybe a bit later at the foundation, yeah, you can do this. Or otherwise, what you can do is just take it out. Once you have this jade charm in your inventory, once you pass a month, the reward will happen. And this is basically the end of that side quest, where you can do in the beginner's village. If you've done everything, burying the dead bodies, paying extra to support the mother of the bandits, and don't read the private letter, and also bring all the items to that girl, and to prove that you have all the good qualities, the 5 virtues, and then you will get... actually I got something more. But yeah, the main thing is here. You get a spiritual a book where you can use. So this, the realm of this book depends on when did you trigger this reward. That's why sometimes you want to save this quest for later. I would recommend, if you want to try to fight Jagu, you can go to Tavern, drink alcohol, try the merry drink, buy the one to get the mighty strength buff, and it costs 675, so usually you won't have that much money. So what you can do is you can come out to this kind of small dungeons and just get in and fight the first room, and then come out and sell some stuff in order to get that much money. because I did a small farming and I got some reward from the quest, I can sell something. Actually, in the beginning, you can just sell everything here. It doesn't really matter. I try to keep all the herbs in case I need to make some pills, but you don't really need to. And here, those interest items, you should be able to get it if you see some kind of chest in the dungeon, and try to break all the chests in the beginning, because it might sometimes drop these interest items and they sell pretty high price. But what I would suggest, you keep one of the interest items which can improve your mood by 80 inside your inventory, in case your mood is too low and you cannot really go to a nearby town to buy interest item. This will actually save you from getting that mood too low debuff. So right now I'm at a really early stage, I don't really care, so I can sell it to get more money. Let's try to fight the Jagu the second time. So I have drink alcohol so that I get 6 strength, so now I have around 29 attack. And this should give me a pretty easy fight, but I still save before the fight, because sometimes it is hard. Yeah, actually the most difficult part is very initial phase when the Jagu is a human. After that, it's actually much easier. So with the gourd, you can have this little imp to help you, so it actually becomes pretty easy. Well, if you have the eye, this is the time when you learn the skill, and then, oh god, you can actually use her own skill against her, and it's also become much easier. I just realized actually a water martial skill cannot go past through this. But yeah. Well, now you can choose to kill or not kill the Jagu, and as a dice person, I don't really recommend you to kill it, but you can kill it. It doesn't really affect whatever the quest you get later. But if you have already done a quest without spoilers, you know that you really shouldn't kill her. But yeah, question is, and then you just need to fight the tree monster and then do it again. But yeah, Jagu is usually the very difficult fight, especially if you have very low attack. And surely a good initial nature of destiny, and drink some alcohol, or even learn a good martial skill will help you in this fight. And if you have the eye or the gourd, it does become much more easier for you. This is not really related, but the end of this Jagu quest is that she has left to search for someone, but we never really get any continuous story for this, and I found it very strange. But anyways, once you finish the quest, you can just simply get out of here. So the main problem that you have to stay here is without this portal, you cannot get out of this initial region. However, you can bypass the entire region if you have one certain destiny which allows you to give you a flying sword amount as your natural destiny. If you take that, you can just fly through these mountains and you can skip the entire region. So if you really want to skip it, that's another option. Of course, then you can take a destiny which gives you a sword artifact. That can also help a lot. Or as I said, steal a sword, save and load. There are all means of matters for you to pass the initial one. And to be honest, I found the beginning of the game much more difficult than later in Chaos. Especially because once you are in later game, you know how to build your character, and you'll become more powerful. But at the beginning, it's really stats matters. And I think the first video, I will just talk about this much. And I will see you next time.